guys, it's Silver, and today I'm here to talk to you about something that we have a lot of experience with. Fronting indicators. Fronting indicators are a quick, simple, easy way to tell which altar is out at any given moment. The set we're using are these little clips, where each altar has a hair clip in their favorite color, and whoever's fronting will wear their favorite color of hair clip at any given point in time. So it's very easy to look at us and see, oh, light blue clip, that means Silver must be fronting. We carry the rest of them around like this. The first question that might come to your mind is, why would a system use these? And the first reason why is quite simple. If a system knows other people, specifically singlets, that know that the system is a system, the other people can then look at the fronting indicator and quickly recognize if whoever's fronting is someone they know or someone new who they have to introduce themselves to. Obviously, especially with larger systems, you're not expected to know which fronting indicator or which color signifies each altar all the time. I know this is something that we don't hold our friends to, as even though we're a kind of small system with only around 13 altars or so, it can get a little bit confusing. But it's still helpful in the fact that all the people who know us know that blue means me. And I, Silver, as the host, am the person who socializes the most often. So if the color is not blue, they should ask who is fronting and then introduce themselves to that altar. Another reason why fronting indicators are so good for systems is that it can help facilitate self-expression of altars. It helps everyone in the system feel heard and feel connected and feel part of the community that they are. And with that, I'm going to go directly into the second half and the majority of this video, our suggestions for fronting indicators for other systems. We have gone through so many different sets of fronting indicators, trying really hard to figure out what works, and we're thinking that this one works. So hopefully it'll stick. But we've gone through about 5 or 6 sets, I think, just trying to figure out what system works best for us. But while we've gone through all these things, we've generated a whole bunch of ideas and then want to share them with you guys. So here they are. The first thing to get out of the way is that we've noticed there's really 3 different classes of fronting indicators. The first class is by colors. This is similar to our system, where each altar has a specific color, and then when that altar is fronting, that color is displayed somewhere on the body that indicates that altar is in the front. For large systems, obviously, there's so many different altars that the colors would basically become like a blended rainbow. Something that we've found that's a really good workaround for this is washi tape. Washi tape are these cute little rolls of tape that have different patterns and different colors on them. We have 3, but our other 2 are kind of boring, just in purple and black with script. But you can get washi tape in so many different colors, fun patterns. You can get like green with yellow bananas on it. You can get like pink with heart. You can get all sorts of things that each altar can pick up themselves. And then with that, the tape is very easy to apply to things like keys. Our second class is charm or clip-on. These are things that actually have little charms for each altars. And with this, can clip onto things like necklaces or bracelets or whatever's just on your body. Something we found really helpful for this are these key rings. These are super easy to open close. You just bend the metal and then boom, open. I hope it'll focus. But they take relatively no effort and they make it easy to go from an object to your bracelet or your necklace or whatever you're clipping onto your body. If you don't have any of those lying around, you can use this thing on the back of lanyards that open and close very easily and can clip onto anything you'd like. And our third class of fronting indicators are name-based. These ones have the altar's actual individual names on things. One of our favorite things for this class of fronting indicators is little beads, like these guys, which very quickly and easily spell out different altars' names. Next, we're going to move on to type of indicators, such as where things lie on your body or where you'd put them in your space, and then we'll go into specific ideas that we have for each type. Our first type, really simple, it's actually where we got our system name from, because this was our first set of indicators, is rings. And we actually have our first ever set of fronting indicators right here. We have a little collection of colored rings, and there they are. Another thing we've done is we've gotten different colors of wire and colors of beads, and we braided them together in very simple rings, like so. There's not as much variation with color in these, but you can really mix and match with beads and make them whatever you'd like. There's also really easy to buy different colored silicone rings that other systems have found really popular and really helpful. Going even further, you can just get individual rings for your system. One of our alters, Chelsea, has a ring just like this. She has a little daisy ring that we slip on her finger whenever she fronts. Next set of ideas are things that go in your wrist. And the first, very obvious one, but one we don't have an example for, are friendship bracelets. Friendship bracelets can be made out of one color, multiple colors. They can include beads, they can include names. You can do basically anything with them. And on this hand, we find it really helpful to just have a whole bunch of embroidery thread with the different colors that your system associates them with. Another really helpful thing about wrists is that you have two of them. In the past, we have used one wrist for fronting, and we have used one wrist for co-consciousness. So you can simultaneously see who's at the front in the moment controlling the body, and who's around the front and you might be able to ping messages to. Another super simple form of fronting indicators on your wrist are hair ties. Come in a whole bunch of colors, and I bet anyone with long hair already has a lot. These are super easy to put on, super easy to take off, takes 30 seconds. We used them for a while, but then we found storing them a little bit hard. Another idea that we might actually try in the future are these phone cord bracelets. These are another very super cheap, super simple on and off option, but as they're kind of bulky, it might not work for larger systems. Or, again, you can go with the individual bracelet route. This is one of Iris's favorite bracelets ever. It has a little turtle charm and butterflies that she picked out when we were young. Another thing with wrist fronting indicators is that you can easily do a charm bracelet, shifting down into our second class, and you can clip your charms on and off depending on who's fronting at the time. You can also, just like I showed you earlier, do name-based bracelets that have the name of each altar. And for our next type of fronting indicator, we have necklaces. This is one that we used for a long time, probably like a year and a half to 2 years. We wore this necklace for a very long time, just a simple charm in the background. It's a leaf. And this blue ring, which was the fronting indicator, this is actually a key ring we painted so you can very quickly open it, slip it off, and then put someone else's on, and it highlights who's fronting at any given point in time. Sadly, the reason why we discontinued these is that we found that the paint on the metal rings comes off very easily, especially with a lot of body heat. So if you're going to go this route and actually paint on the metal, you have to use a metal primer, which was a little bit out of our price range and a lot of work. But if that's your thing, go for it. On the other hand, you can do other things with key rings and necklaces, which we might actually dip back into in the future. Specifically, things like the washi tape and the embroidery thread I mentioned earlier. Here's an example where I put washi tape on one of the rings, very simple and actually kind of cute. And just like that, here's an example with the embroidery thread. I just tied a little bit of thread onto the keyring, and then it would hang right there as a little pendant, showing exactly who's fronting by the color. Obviously, colors might not work for larger systems, and that's where washi tape steps right in, but really it's finding out what works for you. On the other hand, you can just use lanyards, just like you get at any event where people would need to know your name, and just make cute little name tags for each altar that you can rotate in and out of a clear plastic. And on to our next type, things you can put on your shirt. The first, very obvious one is our clip system. We got all of our clips for $5 to $6 on Amazon, and they came in a pack of 120, so very cheap, very simple, and then you get a bunch of colors that all altars can choose from. We carry our clips around on actually a cut-up bit of old sock that got a really big hole in it. If this isn't your thing though, something we've also found that works is washi tape on a paper clip. This works very similar to this, but instead of it being a hair clip that you clip on your clothes, it's just a paper clip with a flag of washi. There we go. I just put it on my shirt for an example. If you want to go with something that has a little bit more specific altar names, you can make straight up buttons for your system and pin them on your shirt. This is something we are in the process of but haven't finished doing yet. We have cute little buttons for a few of us here, but not all of us, and we need to complete the set. This depends a little bit on the resources you have at your disposal. We have access to a queer center with a button maker, so you can just go and make a whole bunch of buttons. So that's given us the resources to make these buttons. If that doesn't work for you and you still want to get buttons, I would suggest seeing if you can get a couple blank ones and writing on them in Sharpie or permanent marker. And finally, ideas that fall outside all of these categories. The first one is keychains that you clip on your backpack or your purse or some part of your person. These can function very similar to the washi tape idea, or they can have cute little strings of beaded names to show the name of each altar. You could even continue to personalize it further with different charms you could add to the keychain, or colored rope, or anything your heart desires. You can also put things in your hair, whether that be the hair ties I mentioned earlier, or the hair clips, but just in your hair, or ways you wear your hair. Something that we do a lot is we have a lot of different ways we like to wear this hair because it's really long, which means you can do a lot of things to it. Mia specifically is the only alter who puts it up in a ponytail, and Montana is the only one that rolls it in a specific way over her shoulder. Another option that I know has worked for a couple other systems in the past is having a literal whiteboard on your wall and writing down on the whiteboard who is fronting at any time. Quite simply being like, currently fronting, silver, and changing every time a different alter fronts. If you don't happen to have a whiteboard, you can also use interchangeable signs with string and a nail, and you can put the sign up of whoever's fronting at the time. So anyways, those are all of the ideas that I've collected over all of these years. If you have any more ideas, stick them right down in the comments and I will pin your comment to the top of the list to try to generate as much variety as we can. I really hope some of these ideas go forth and help you guys find what works best for your system, because that's a long journey and it took us like 5 or 6 different fronting indicator sets to finally figure out what works for us and what we actually can continue to bring with us all over our life and remember to change. So best of luck to any system that's trying to figure this out currently, and I hope these tips have helped you. And for the singlets out there, I hope you understand a little bit more about fronting indicators and why the system might choose to use them. And as always, I wish all of you an absolutely wonderful day.